Jeremy, you ready?
Recording.
Okay. Rabbi, ready?
Okay, we're ready. Introductions. Reading of the conduct statement. Community Board 11 meetings must be held in a professional and hostile-free environment. The following rules of conduct are applicable to members of the public, Community Board 11 and Community Board 11 staff. Any action or behavior that disrupts or interferes with Community Board 11 business will not be tolerated during any Community Board 11 meeting and may result in the individual being asked to leave. If the action or behavior continues, this may be considered disturbing the peace and the appropriate authorities may be summoned. If the meeting is held remotely, the person may be muted or expelled for the remainder. Repeated violations by the same person or group of people may result in further action by the community board. All public speakers must address the full board of the committee with their concerns. Electioneering or for a position other than an officer of Community Board 11 is prohibited.
Thank you.
Gesundheit. Engaging in actions of violence, including threats or grounds for immediate suspension of the right to attend meetings, pending review by the Ethics and Disciplinary Committee. Respect the quality, diversity, and privacy of all people by respecting and evaluating differences of culture and opinion. Refrain from unpleasant or disparaging remarks and other actions. Abstain from all forms of harassment by actively discouraging it. Disseminating false information is prohibited. Okay, we did that. 1A. Review of meeting minutes.
I don't know. We don't have the.
Okay,
We don't
how
have
do we
the
go right by that? Okay. Attendance sheet is, in person is myself, Hazel, Ryan Barthel has removed himself from the committee. Deborah Kowalik is here. Lisa Villela is here. The chair of the board in person is here. Why don't there be a name here? Should that be a
Oh,
name?
it's there, it's under, it says non-voting member.
Oh, wait, is your name non-voting member? Okay, and the district manager is somewhere out there on the screen.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's.
And I know the minute, the attendance log was emailed and I believe it was corrected.
Excellent, thank you, Deborah. Very kind. Okay, so the bad news is Mr. Barthel has resigned from this committee. And I guess the bad news now is down to the precious four, So that means the precious four are here. So the good news is we have a quorum. That is correct. The less people, yeah. I like that. Okay. Okay, actually, no, they say I'm the chairman of the rabbinical board of the Bronx and I'm the only member. So it's easy. It's very easy to have meetings. Okay, next. Okay, street active permit applications. Okay, so I requested at the board meeting that they tell me a little more about these things and they're not here. So we're going to struggle again okay, but he's going to help me. My friend.
Well, we got the locations now.
Yeah, but again, I don't know if they had police problems, if it's a repeat thing, so on and so forth. So somebody, either the district manager or the assistant district manager is going to help me. Okay, Wilson Avenue Block Party, I'm going to ask the same question every time to get ready for this being boring. Is this a repeat? Yes or no? Chris or Jeremy?
Yes, it's a repeat.
Okay, has there been any problems?
Nothing.
Okay, so we'll do motions at the end and I'll announce each one. Allerton International Food Festival. This I know, this one I don't have to ask, I know is a repeat. And I think Mr. Jean says everything has been worked out there. So is there any problems on this, Chris?
Not that I know of.
Not you know of. Okay, good. We're 2 for 2. Gospel Crusade. Now, is that going for a week? That says it's going from the 20th to the 27th. That's a long time for a permit. I never saw a permit granted for a week. I am going to take a guess. That is a misprint.
They usually do it because they do it every evening. That's what it is.
You serious? Okay.
Is this more of a sidewalk event?
Mostly, yes. And they have a big yard.
Okay, there's been no problems with this one, Mr. Kirka?
This is Reverend Jay Goodin. He's the head of clergy task force. So he's been doing this for 30 years.
Good enough for me. Good, excellent. Allerton Avenue Strong City Record Studio 4th anniversary. Okay, so that's on a different weekend than that other Allerton festival, so I think we're okay with this now. Has there been any problems with Strong City Record Studio 4th anniversary? Or the
Not
third?
the last time.
Okay, good. Assemblyman John Sakara Jr. Community Grand Opening.
They gotta rename that.
Yeah.
I think it's usually like Family Day or something.
Okay, Family Day. Okay, John Zaccaro's a wonderful man. I don't think there's problems with that. We're doing good. Hello Summer. I remember that from last year. Hello Summer. Christopher, no problem?
No problem.
Good. Gad, I should ask if any has problems instead of reading each one. Okay, but for the
None of them
record,
have problems, Rabbi.
this whole list? This whole list?
The entire list. None of them had any issues.
Why do I gotta read one by one?
And they're
Okay.
all,
They're all repeats, or, yeah, I see this one's a new one. This one I don't remember. From Geneva to the Bronx, Yemen Heritage in Motion.
This is
Right.
brand new, yes. That is
That-
the only
yeah.
one brand new.
Right, so,
And the Bronxdale ribbon cutting, is that brand new or? The last
That, let me look. Just give me one
That's-
second. Meanwhile,
That's new. That's the clinic that's there. one
the
that has-
clinic that has been for ages, but they keep cutting the ribbon for that one.
Well, they just renovated.
okay, so that's a long ribbon. You can't have problems with a ribbon. Okay, good. So the only ones from Sheba.
Actually, it's from our ex board member, Serena Muniz.
Yes.
Okay, so she's doing something for, I don't know, 8 hours. And Sheba to Yemen Heritage in Motion, that's Morris Park Avenue between Wallace and Hunt Avenue. So when that says Morris Park Avenue, Christopher,
Yes,
that
sir.
means, that means everything is closed down? No bus could go down Morris Park Avenue?
Let me get quickly. I'm already on the.
That's like,
The same book?
It was still one block.
yeah.
If one block
It's a
is
weird
blocked, the
block.
bus can't go
Yeah.
around one block.
It's
Okay,
just one block, but let me make sure. Let me make sure. Just keep going with the other ones. I'll tell you exactly
I
about
know
this.
you told me all the other ones are kosher, so I don't really
Right.
have to go over the other ones. So our only
From
question,
Shiva. Let me see. Let me click
Okay.
into it.
Sheba. and
It's
that's
a
it.
Yemeni Heritage in Motion. Yemeni Heritage Day is an annual cultural festival dedicated to celebrating and preserving the rich traditional Yemeni while fostering cross-cultural engagements. Let me see who has applicant's name. Joel Feliciano. I don't know who this guy is. It's going to be set up date 8 a.m. It's going to be on 21st, June 21st, 8 a.m. until 8 p.m.
Here I have between 10 and 6. I have between 10,
10
and
and
6.
6 is the timing, but the setup starts 2 hours before and ends 2 hours after.
Yeah, I'm not good. How many blocks between Wallace and Hunt? Wallace and Hunt is only one?
No.
they're very close, I know that.
Two, Wallace, Holland, and then Hunt.
Well,
so
let
that-
me tell you something. This event has been held previously.
Yeah,
Yes,
I don't remember.
Block
Shapiro.
off Morris
On-
Park.
on the 22 in 2022.
Is it-
10,
Is it
yeah,
a sidewalk event or street?
it's the street completely. I think.
So they're blocking the bus?
To my understanding, they're gonna put it in the other side. Gonna pass it.
Block the bus.
That's all day.
Oh, go let them go find a different avenue. Not Morris Park. I don't think we
That's
ever.
right, because I see here agency instruction is going to be attendance 1,000 to about 5,000 people. They're going to have live entertainment. They're going to have food. They're going to have stations.
Oh, I don't know about this. I don't think the storekeepers are going to be thrilled about this too.
Well, over there, most of the storekeepers are Yemenis, so they're probably participating in
Maybe
the.
they'll make more business. Maybe they will be happy about it. I don't know about this, Mr. Christopher, because the only Morris Park Avenue I think I've ever given is to the parade.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever gave that. I think they just.
Yes, we gave it to in it says here it's being held in 2022.
I was 2022, so that's why I don't remember it. That's good. 3 years ago.
Did they have that number of people?
And it held also in 2023. Because I see here agency instructions. This event has been held previously. Following are details of a previous occurrence, 2022 and
And they-
2023.
I think,
They closed Morris Park those 2 times?
Yes.
no, I don't have that bad of a memory. Unless somebody overrules me, I don't remember this.
I don't remember it either.
You're all younger than me, so if you don't remember it, I'm in good shape. I don't remember this.
Do we
It's
have
the Yemeni parade, of course.
the Yemen Parade? Yes, I remember. That was over on Rhinelander, not Mars Park.
Christopher, where
It
you,
was Rhinelander and White Plains Road was the parade.
okay, Christopher, where you are sitting, or Mr. Warnicki is sitting, could you go to a computer and do a search on from Sheba to the Bronx and see, and I tend to agree with Ms. Kowalik. I don't think it was on Morris Park Avenue, because you know, I'm big on blocking big avenues and blocking.
Right, because I was told, it was mentioned around me, it wasn't actually told to me, it was mentioned around me the other day that they wanted to change the parade route. So they may have had a parade before, but it was on Rhinelander and White Plains Road, not
Okay.
Morris Park.
So here's the question, which I do not know the answer to, Mr. Christopher. Is for a parade, do you need a different type of permit?
I am exactly on SAPO, and that's what SAPO is saying. That they
Who's
held it twice
SAPO.
before.
Street activity
Oh.
permit.
And they say for a parade, you need a better permit, a different permit?
Might not be just it can be the same thing as the thing
What?
whatever is occurring in Alderton Avenue, the
June, sorry,
festival.
June of 2024, the BX22, BX39, BX21, BXM10 were rerouted for the Yemeni Day Parade.
There you
Oh,
go.
where did you see that?
On Morris Park?
NYPD 49 precinct,
Oh,
Facebook post from June of 2024.
okay.
There you go.
Okay, but there's a difference between a parade that lasts maybe 2 hours and something that lasts from 8 in the morning until
Yeah, cause,
10 o'clock at night.
right, cause even the Columbus Day Parade reopens the street by 2.
I'm not saying it's just a parade, ladies. It might be the same thing as the International Food Festival, in which the heritage is being celebrated.
Okay, so, does it say on that little thing which way the bus was rerouted? Is it going through all these homes and everything? with kids?
It usually gets rerouted up to Rhinelander.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they reroute, they go down Rhinelander, so buses are gonna go down Rhinelander. And according to our chairwoman, this happened before, and I guess nobody objected, so does anybody here, without making a motion, does anybody have an objection to this? It happened before. And-
Looking on the calendar, the 21st is a weekend, so we're not affecting school buses
Yeah,
and.
so
It's a Saturday.
And people going to work.
Okay,
All right, then I have no objection.
Ms. Valella, are you happy? I want you to be happy. I don't want you to leave it being upset. No, our dear friend Hazel. No? Okay, so therefore the motion on the table is for all these, I'm not gonna count, for all these requests that are being put out today at 7:18, May 3rd, yeah, May 3rd. Does anybody have, I'd make a motion to approve all of these
16.
16 permits. Do I have a second for that? Any objections?
Who second?
Who seconds?
Please, the fifth.
May's the 5th, May 5th. And everybody, Lisa Valella second. Anybody have any objections, any discussion? Okay, passed. Okay.
Yeah, we already discussed.
I just have
By
a
the
question.
way,
Community outreach slash giveaways on,
Yeah.
do we know who's sponsoring that?
which one?
The one that's, the one on June 7th, community outreach slash giveaways.
The
Yes,
one
sir.
in
Through Avenue between Burke and Gun Hill.
give me 1 second, I can tell you exactly who is doing that.
It's too late.
What is the name of the activity?
It's-
One more?
It says community outreach slash giveaways.
I got you. Okay, hold on. It's organized by Mr. David Foster.
Who's David? Oh, David Foster. Who's Foster? I thought Foster is your boss. He's not
No.
David Foster.
He's William.
He's William Foster. Okay, but you say these what happened before?
It's a Bible. It's a Bible chapel, Emmanuel's Bible chapel. Dave
Okay.
Foster, it's the reverend over there.
Okay, okay, we like reverence. Okay, good. Next. Okay, so let us go, because Mr. DOT is up there. I think I saw him. Yeah. Jesus. How are you, Jesus? And we will come back to
Oh,
gallery.
wait. Hold on, I gotta,
You have to unmute him, please.
that's what I'm doing.
Hey, good evening. Can everyone hear me?
Now we can.
You good?
Hey,
Jesus?
good
And I am
evening.
going to introduce you, Jesus. Jesus Soto. What's your official title, Jesus?
I'm a borough planner for the commissioner's office.
Okay, Borough Planner for the Commissioner's Office. Jesus Soto was kind enough to join us tonight, and we will take questions after we go over all these A to Fs on this list. And then we will take questions, but all questions I ask respectively should be questions. Should be done in a respectful way, because Jesus gave up his time tonight to join us. So if you have any questions, fine, we will get you answers. Jesus is here. But please do not be critical of the OT, Jesus, or anything. Thank you. Okay, Jesus, in, I don't know, 5 sentences or less, what is going on? Status. And again, everybody can ask their questions after I hit F. So let Jesus give answers. And again, if Jesus does not have an answer, says he'll get back to us, we will get with the get back to us. It's fine enough for me now. But at least we're making progress here, because these 6 things have been out here for a while. Bronxdale Avenue Road Diet. The concerns of the community, Jesus, to put it in one sentence, is safety, planning, and the future. It's all yours, Jesus.
All right. So what I can say for Bronxdale is it's been about almost 3 years now since it's been implemented, and I believe that's what we had said to you guys when you guys initially asked for statistics, that we do need a couple of years of it, implemented to gather the data and get that. And I did speak with Anthony, and I believe they are as we speak, but I believe that they are gathering data to present to you. I don't know where they are in that, but I do know that they are gathering data to present to you in as far as any accidents or just, I don't know the details or how thorough that report will be, but I know something is being prepared.
Okay, good. Okay, that's succinct. That's good enough for me now, and then we'll take questions later on if anybody has any more specific questions on that. Okay, next one should be an easy one. Is repaving Leidig Avenue between Holland and White Plains Road. I hear that's Bumperoo City now.
So, yeah, I heard the same. I heard the same, and I believe that, and please do not hold me to this, because the roadway schedule is always subject to change, depending on availability of the machinery that we use for the milling and paving. But it is on the schedule. Leidig from, I believe it's Barnes to Bronx Park East, if I'm not mistaken. And I believe I did send that to I believe I did tell Jeremy that earlier, and I can send that in writing if anything. But again, that always is subject to change. It has happened. It has happened to us before. Well, to me before, where I did tell someone that something was going to happen as far as the paving and milling, and it happened. It just happened at a much later date. So if it's on the schedule, we'll get to it. But things always happen, and as we have limited resources, we work with what we can. But Leidig is on the schedule.
Okay,
Because I know Kruger, Holland, and Wallace are on the schedule for this week. But that's Kruger itself, Holland itself, and Wallace itself.
now, thank you, David. Point of information, just point of it. So when Leidig is done, is that gonna, for lack of a better word, is that gonna cripple Leidig from Matthews all the way down to Bronx Park East?
Yep.
Or Barnes, excuse me, Barnes from Bronx Park East.
What do you mean by cripple?
That means nothing will be able to go down there on one day. It'll be a total wipeout, or is it done in segments?
It's done in so they'll mill it. I believe they mill maybe 2 or 3 blocks at a time, depending on how they're able to clear out the roadway. But they do it in segments, and then once they do mill, they leave it milled for a while just to make sure that any underground infrastructure isn't compromised and or anything needs to be checked out. I believe Con Edison, DEP, they're all aware, and then once everything is a go, then we will pave. Usually a week or two after it's milled.
But correct me if I'm wrong, but in the act of milling, say Leidig from Matthew, going three block segments at a time, that means like no trucks would be able to get to Key Food for the deliveries?
No, that's not true. No, that's not true at all. Once it's milled, cars and vehicles can still travel
No, but
over it.
no, I mean in the act of milling.
Oh well, okay, I see what you mean. So it wouldn't be a curb to curb. So we would do one. It would either be one lane at a time or one direction at a time. So if like it's, let's just say is Leidig, I believe, east to west. So if it's and again, please forgive me, but Leidig, I don't know, I forget how wide it is. I don't know how many lanes wide it is, but they would do it, let's just say a lane at a time. Or if it's scheduled for night work, which would be ideal here if there are a lot of businesses, then it would happen way faster than that. But again, it's always subject to change. I'm waiting for confirmation from the roadway crew for when Leidig will be done. And when it will be done, because if it's overnight, then I believe it would be less of an impact for the businesses there. Again, because during the day, if it's milled, cars and trucks can still drive over it like it's nothing. But I hear what you're saying. But to answer your question, I think they would do it one side at a time. They wouldn't do curb to curb unless it's available, to do so. Like if it's an overnight operation.
I know years yonder, Leidig was a two-way, but that's like, I was small. But I don't know the measurement, but I mean, yeah, you got parking on each side and then you got a driving lane and then everybody double parking. But I mean, yeah, I hear what you're saying. Thank you.
Okay.
No problem. Anytime.
Okay, number C is, and members of the community have been a little concerned about this one. Jesus, the Bronxdale parking lot statistics. There's been reports of crime over there and vandalism on cars. Do you have any sort of feeling or reports about how that lot is doing, the Bronxdale parking lot?
I do not. However, when I received the agenda earlier today, I reached out to the unit to see if there was anything they could give me before the call today. I did not receive a response. So this is something I'll definitely follow up with Jeremy on once I do receive a response. But I'm not sure as far as crime what they'll have, but general parking lot statistics, I believe we can get you something.
Excellent. Okay, and maybe we'll follow up on crime with our community affairs officer. Okay, good. Okay, number D, forget about, is done, I believe, so I don't.
Well, I want to find out when they're gonna, if they're gonna ever pave over there, because even though they patched that hole, it needs to be repaved.
And this is Pelham Parkway, right? So Pelham Parkway.
Between the Stillwell light
Okay.
and between the new I-95 entrance light, if that helps give you a
Yeah,
geographic.
it does. I take that way sometimes to go. Okay. So this is, yeah. It's after the bridge.
It's on both sides of the bridge. The bridge,
Oh, but it's on the actual bridge.
no, they're right by the hutch. But it's not on, it's not on the part of the bridge, because I know that's bridge division. It's just before the bridge and just after the bridge of
Okay.
the Amtrak bridge we're referring to.
Okay. I'll be able to send a screenshot, like an overhead screenshot to the roadway crew and see if they'll be able to do something there.
Okay, good. Okay, number E is historically, Jesus. This was, I don't know, 15 years ago, 10 years ago. It was very simple. You went down to Stillwell if you were going west on Pelham Parkway, and you could make a right turn on Stillwell as long as you had a right turn on red. Somehow it was stopped. I don't know from who, from when. I would say one person crosses from one side to the other side there. I don't know, maybe once every 20 minutes. It's like a no-brainer. It would help traffic moving on Pelham Parkway westbound. It would help the Bronx 12 bus because it sits in that lane too. So if the car before it is making a right turn, it would leave earlier. So the only thing we would ask you on this one is look historically why it disappeared. And in my mind, there's no logical reason it disappeared. I think it should be a no-brainer.
Only thing I could imagine is when we did when the reconstruction of Pelham Parkway happened, maybe it was taken down, and I'm not sure if it was in the plans to put back up. That I will confirm. But however, whether or not I confirm that, I will be sending Jeremy a case number for the request to, I guess, just reinstall that sign. But if there was some sort of valid reason why they did not want to install that sign, I will also be sure to let you know.
Okay, good. And last but not least is the bump outs on Wilson Avenue, and that's the only thing.
Wilson and Waring.
Yeah, it's the only
Let's see. Oh, wait.
So
We said it's taking away parking spots, and it was a danger.
All right, all right.
But he can't see it.
No, I'm trying to figure out.
no, I'm gonna pull it up on my end. So you
No, I
can go
got
ahead, Debbie.
picture of it that I took at 3:30 this afternoon.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to see how I can share. Wilson and Waring. Jesus, can you see?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Now,
So that truck is illegally parked.
no. Currently, that truck is legally parked because there's no signage saying you can't park near that bump out.
But that's the driving lane.
Had I been in my car to get a better angle or something, there's 3 vehicles that park there.
Debbie, can you zoom in a little bit just so I can, make it.
There's 3 vehicles that park along this thing. And when opposing traffic is coming from the photographer view of this picture, you can't proceed through the intersection until they go.
But it's I hate to, be this guy, but that car is in the driving lane, which is he's illegally parked. There does not need to be signage, just like we don't sign driveways and just like we don't sign fire hydrants. There's no reason for us to sign here to say no parking when this car is clearly in the driving lane. This is a two-way street.
I know, I hear you, but I think if you put a no standing sign.
Right, but then so that if we do it here, we would have to do it for absolutely every location, and I don't know if that's, because it's kind of common knowledge to not park in the driving lane. And again, I also hear you. You know what I mean? Like I can understand and see how this could be sort of confusing, but I mean, and he's right there at the intersection. Any car making that right or left, even you gotta, and that's an expensive vehicle, so I'm just you know, but I hear you. I do hear you. I believe you brought this up to us before. I spoke to
Yes.
Anthony about this. Anthony and
Emailed you
I.
weeks ago, and
Go
I
ahead.
didn't get any response.
So Anthony, so I do apologize for not responding, but Anthony and I did speak with the borough engineering unit. The reason why I don't think we responded because I think they were supposed to get back to us on something they were going to look into, but because Anthony kind of sort of agreed, but again, their stance was we can't sign, you know, it just like we don't sign like a driveway. It's
Yeah,
obvious you don't park in a driveway, and it's obvious you
yeah,
don't
but that-
park, you know, you don't block a fire hydrant or you don't park in the crosswalk. It's you know it would be the same kind of reason. But I listen. I understand. I'll bring this back up with Anthony and see if we can get you like an official response. Uh,
right.
but you know, based off of like roadway geometry, and not even, you know, I'm no engineer, but if I'm driving in the road, like I, you know, if I'm looking for parking, I am definitely not parking here.
I know, but hold on a second. Where is?
When were the
Okay.
bump outs put in?
A lot of, I don't know when that one was put in, but I know a
It
bunch
was
of.
fairly recent. I don't have an exact time frame, but I can get that for you. But it was
A lot of bump
fairly
outs
recent.
came up during COVID. Hold on.
And I believe these are the DEP bioswales, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I heard that word. Yeah.
Wait, hold on, because,
What is?
all right, yeah, because I thought there might have been a sign over at this one, but no, that I'm mistaken.
Could I ask why those bump outs are made?
For the rain.
Yeah, it's for rain mitigation.
That one too, the one that Debbie took?
Yeah, this is.
So yeah, this yeah.
If you see, it's downhill.
Okay.
So,
And like there's a curve out, like there's a little mini curb cut if you see where that scooter is parked.
yeah, let me move this
There's
out.
like an opening in that curve to allow for, you know,
Yeah.
rainwater to, you know, not pool up in the street, but also not pool up, you know, anywhere else.
So you got a little curb cut on that side and a little curb cut over there, and
Thank you.
all right, now how do I stop? Stop sharing. Okay. Okay. Yes, something needs to be done over there.
But yeah, no, Debbie, I'll talk with Anthony tomorrow and see if you know, see what the latest is there. I do know that I believe he was waiting on something from the engineering department, but yeah, we'll I'll talk with him tomorrow. We'll get you something soon. I'm sorry about that.
All right, thank you.
Okay, we got a few, I don't know, I think we're left off, or maybe we didn't have it. And then I'll take anything from first the committee members and then from the public. Okay, the one that's left off is the one on right after Astor, where all those buses are turning, making a left turn under White Plains Road. What's the name of that block
The
place?
Waits?
Waits Place, right, Waits, thank you. So this is why we got now, Jesus. And our previous committee member here is not here, and he brought this up, and he's very valid. We got making a left turn on Thwaites to White Plains Road, Boston Road, whatever you call it,
From Boston
right?
onto Thwaites to White Plains Road.
Okay, we got two buses going there now. We got a 30, thanks to the MTA when their new bus design. We got a 39 turning there, and it ain't good. It ain't good because it's backing up and there's no left lane turn signal there. I would appreciate if you could look into that and see how we could remedy that. That in a way affects the whole Boston Road, which will lead up into my next question. But the fact that 30 bus now joined the 39, and the 39 being the accordion bus and the 30 bus being the normal bus, there's more buses turning there than regular cars. So if you could look into that and see if there's any solution to that, that would be fine. And the next one, go ahead, if you want to respond, Jesus.
No,
I'm
no,
ready.
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The other one is Pelham Parkway, Boston Road, Allerton Avenue, Bronx Park East. Is that ever in our lifetime going to be resolved? My poor, I have people here. Ms. Villela, who's on our committee, takes her, and she could run quicker from her house to, where do they go to?
They used to go to Fordham.
Fordham Prep. She could run quicker, maybe I even could run quicker from her house to Fordham Prep. That does not move. It is a constant problem. And nothing has ever been done about that. Now, could anything be done about it? Maybe it is a hopeless case. But God forbid, one day it'll be a bad accident there. Maybe something will be done. But
I'm so sorry, Rabbi. So you mentioned a whole bunch of streets and said what can be done. What exactly is the problem? I'm so sorry. I don't think I have that down.
Okay, let's go west. Let's go west, my man. We're going down Pelham Parkway.
Okay.
We have a 12 bus limited. We have a regular 12 bus. We got Westchester buses that are turning at Boston Road. And then we have a whole bunch of people that want to go to work, take their kids to school, so on and so forth. You could sometimes go from Williamsbridge Road to Boston Road. That could be 10, 15 minutes. And then to go from Boston Road to get to the Botanical Gardens over there, which is called Southern Boulevard, I believe, will be another 15 minutes, maybe even 20 minutes. And you have cars cutting themselves off and this and that. And it's a terrible situation. And if God forbid there was emergencies down there, I have no idea how ambulance would get by or anything. It is a and then Allerton. So what happens next? People have common sense and they say, well, go to Allerton. Let's try Allerton. So then Allerton backs up from, oh boy, it could go from White Plains Road going west all the way to Bronx Park East. And then everybody tries to squeeze in by Bronx Park East. They're coming right, they're coming left, they're coming straight. If you've never seen this, Jesus, it is worth a few minutes of your time, and I will meet you there. But bottom line, it's bad. It's probably in the Bronx. Well, I don't know the whole Bronx, but most of it. This is the worst snafu in the whole Bronx. There might be one more, but this is the worst. And we've had I think everybody's been here from DOT. And we've had pictures and we've had this and we've had that. But according to Oscar Wilde, action speaks louder than words. And how do I know that from Oscar Wilde? They used to punish me when I was a little kid. I had to write that 100 times. So I don't know what to say. I don't think anybody on this table could tell you anything more. I don't think anybody else here could have a resolution unless we have cars that could go up in the air. There is no resolution. The buses are bad enough, but then you have tons of cars.
Okay.
It's no bus lane. The only bus lane is, and that gets abused, and I don't know if those pictures are being taken or not. The bus lane goes from all the way down till Boston Road. But after that, no bus lane. Then it's all fighting for 2 lanes going from Boston Road to Southern Boulevard. Most probably that goes all the way, Debbie, down most probably into Fordham Road, because I never go that far down.
It's complete chaos.
Yeah. Because I turn usually by Southern Boulevard. Okay.
And being in the bus, I can vouch, it's chaos
Okay.
in the bus lane too.
Okay. I don't think that's what
Would before so before we move on, would you or Jeremy or Chris send me those streets that you mentioned, just so that we can
We'll get some.
do our due diligence on our end?
Yeah, but I'm telling you, Jesus, I admire you and I respect you. This is one of those every 10-year topics. 10,
Okay.
15. Okay, but I know it's gonna be right.
And while we're on old business, I want to revisit it again. And while we're in that same area, it's that same area between White Plains Road and Boston Road going westbound. There is only one painted left arrow. So you got tons of cars that go into that left lane and then they're going straight because they don't see that one arrow, because if there's one car waiting at that red light, he's blocking the arrow. So we need more only left painted
So
on.
2 dedicated left turn base.
Yes.
Yeah, and we forgot
I think we logged this for you before though, Debbie, and I believe it was denied.
And I'm revisiting it again
Okay, I hear you.
because I'll go down Garden Hill Road and you got 5 arrows going into Home Depot, but you only got 1 for Boston Road? Boston Road goes from Boston to Florida. It's a major roadway.
Okay,
I hear
duly
you.
noted,
All right. I will rehash this up with the.
We got one more stale one, Jesus, and then we're gonna turn it over to the committee and the public.
Of course.
Now, the stale one is Bronx River Parkway North, getting off at Pelham Parkway, that they're not supposed to go fly out to the other left lane, but they're all doing it anyway. Is there any resolution to that?
So
with
getting
me?
off Bronx River Parkway North onto Pelham
You get off the
Parkway.
exit Pelham Parkway, and you're
Uh-huh.
either supposed to go straight, or I think you're.
You're only supposed to go on Pelham Parkway.
Right, straight, or you can make a right, you can make a right too.
Correct.
Right.
So what people are doing, they're flying across and flying over to Boston Road.
Yeah, they're flying across 4 lanes of traffic to make a left onto Boston Road North.
Right, and this is also another 10-year piece of stale bread. This has been going on for 10 years.
So I'm sorry, I love your choice of wording there. The reason why, well, I don't know why it's taken so long to do so. The only thing I could imagine is, you know, that infamous enforcement issue that is ever so lovingly said. But you know, as far as something that DOT can do, I'm not sure there's much, you know, because in order to prevent that, there would need to be some sort of a hardened structure to, you know, prevent or deter, rather, you know, the cars. Go ahead.
Can you put those, yeah, I
The
guess.
little delineators, right?
The little peggy,
The flexible ones, right?
if you put that from where the grass concrete ends to the crosswalk, maybe that would make people pay attention to the signs that are saying, yeah, you can't cut across.
Listen, I'm the type of person that always says weirder things have always happened. I cannot see that being impossible. However, that's something I would need to, you know, definitely log into our system and get a case number for you guys and get an official response. But like I said, you know, I've seen some, you know, I've seen some weird things working for the city. So, you know, who knows? But
I know it's not in the city DOT, that it would be more state DOT, but I still think they need to do away with that exit period, because the exit prior can serve the same purpose
right,
and safer.
right.
Then you have them backing up.
Yeah,
to the bus
that
and
exit
everything.
back so
You know,
already.
the
as
bus
it
too,
is
and you have the
zoo.
Bronx Zoo, you
Yeah.
have everything. I don't know about that one, Debbie, but anyway, okay, final, where's the traffic agent? They came last year, we fought, they were around, they stayed on the place over there, they stayed on Boston Road, going, gone.
So traffic agents are not DOT. That would be NYPD.
Yeah, I'm just asking that question, have you heard
Oh.
anything about that?
I have not. No.
Are they in the Bronx anywhere?
They're in Hunts Point.
Or in Hunts Point, yeah.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, I could see Hunts Point. And I'm sure that there's still a lot of work going on around Del Valle, that southern part of the, you know, the
Yeah, and
Del
the truth
Valle
of
strip.
the truth of the matter is they didn't really help that much anyway, so, okay.
But
so-
that's we
Yeah,
couldn't control that.
And they stood in the middle and they tried whatever. Okay, we're gonna turn this over. Okay, let's go and let's have some direction here. I'm gonna, from A to F to G to H, I'm gonna turn it over to committee for questions. Then I will turn it over to the public for comments and questions. And then we will go back to the gallery session to talk about anything that doesn't have to do for A to G. So first, from committee that's here, and chairwoman, do we have any questions about A to F to G to H? Okay, that was good, quick. Now we will turn it over to our public. Public, if you would like to talk about A to F, please raise your light or hand. Yes, Miss Cardona.
Hold on, I gotta unmute her. Kay, try to unmute yourself.
Okay, it should be working now. You can hear me?
I hear
I
you.
hear you loud and clear.
Thank you. Yeah, and the volume is actually good at this meeting for a change. Excuse me. All right, so wait, hold on a second. Something's going. Oh, there it is. Yeah. So what was I going to say? Couple of things like what Mr. Soto had said, like Wilson and Waring. I used to live 2 blocks down from there. Occasionally, if I took the 26 bus on Allerton, I would do the walk down Wilson. And it's on many, many blocks. As a pedestrian and a person who rides buses, people constantly park in like the crosswalks where pedestrians are supposed to be able to cross. If you have a big pickup truck and you're going to park it there, it makes it extremely dangerous for pedestrians. I think the only solution is enforcement, like traffic agents, something, ticketing people and letting them know you can't park any which way. As far as driveways are concerned, Mr. Soto, I live in an area with private houses. People park in people's driveways. They have no business being there. It's ridiculous, but it happens. As far as the rain gardens are concerned, they're very important. When I lived on Pelham, Parkway North and Wilson, when Superstorm Ida or whatever her name was, Ida came, I actually had water in my apartment and there was damage. And that's one of the reasons why when the owners finished fixing, that was one of the reasons why they decided to sell. It hadn't happened before that. I'm not sure if it ever happened after, because I haven't lived there in a couple of years. But yeah, it's just nuts. With the rain gardens, there needs to be more of them. As far as traffic is concerned, that area, because I frequent that area, Boston, Pelham, all that area, that's not the only area that gets really trafficy. Sometimes I go around the Bronx on bus or walking, and there are several neighborhoods where traffic jams up. It's just the nature of the beast. I'm not a driver here. I will not drive here, but I have a pet peeve with all the traffic lights. I think if there were fewer traffic lights, there would be like traffic could flow a little more easily. Yes, it has to. People run lights anyway. I'm a pedestrian. I almost get hit numerous times a day, every day. So traffic lights, stop signs really don't stop anybody from driving recklessly. As far as Stillwell is concerned, Rabbi, I'm sorry to tell you, I work in that area. There's more than one person that walks there. Lots of people walk there. Because you have nursing homes there, you have residences, and they just erected a building, 1682 Stillwell, which according to the owners is going to be apartments, but we already know it's going to be some kind of a shelter. So there'll
Okay.
be more,
And
more pedestrian traffic happening there. So if the turn is fine to do where it won't put pedestrians in danger, fine, then I'll shut up now.
No need to shut up. I was saying more, Kay, they're crossing, going west to east, going from Stillwell over to that other corner. Nobody goes across there. I know what you're saying. You're plenty of traffic. You are right. They come off the bus, but they stay on the west side of the street. They stay on the west side of the street. If they cross over, they usually cross over on the next block on the service road. But I hear what you're saying. I definitely hear what you're saying. Thank you. Thank you for your input. We appreciate it. Okay, anybody else up there on the board that would like to speak? Okay, right over here behind me, sir. All yours.
I'm gonna comment on A through F real quick, but I just want
Sure.
to reserve my gallery session if I could.
Yeah, you got a gallery after
Yeah.
that.
So on the first Bronxdale Avenue Road Diet, just to clarify, it's not a road diet. It was it was installed as a parking protected bike lane with safety enhancements in every intersection. As far as the build out on that corner, I kind of understand what you're saying, but that's really enforcement. It's great that DEP put that ring still in there, wherever they want to put it. That's DEP, not DOT, but NYPD would be needed to correct that issue. And and on Fordham Road, let's all fight for the Fordham Avenue busway on the other side of the botanical gardens, because that would probably help this side. And that's really state land in the middle, like Debbie had said. So I don't know how much input DOT would have. And that last piece where Debbie was mentioning putting maybe up bollards or something like that on Pelham Parkway to prevent people from the exit making that left and cutting people off, that's a good idea. but I believe Pelham Parkway people are allowed to make the right onto Bronx Park East. So it's another method needs to come up there because that is an issue. Also, at that little curve that she mentioned that the ballards would begin, it would be great if that was a ramp so bikes can get off without hopping off the curve to cross over. And that's all I have on A through F. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I see a left hand over there. Oh, who's that left hand down there? No name.
Finch.
Okay, go ahead. Ms. Finch.
Wait, hold on, I gotta,
Ms. Finch.
wait, hold on.
Okay.
Unmute, Diana.
Okay, I did.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
First, the Thwaites Boston Road left-hand turn light. I thought that Brian had said that there is going to be a left turn light installed.
Nope.
The buses that are turning
He put
going
it,
southbound for the buses that are going southbound on Boston Road, turning left onto Thwaites and around onto White Plains Road.
No, request was just made. Request was made.
Okay. Then on the South Municipal parking lot, we had asked because there were several BPECA members who were very concerned about it transitioning to paid. And DOT did tell us that they do not have security or guards or personnel at any of the municipal parking lots. So that wasn't going to be a possibility. DOT has said, though, that they're installing more lighting all along Bronx Park East. And in fact, we did a walkthrough with Kevin Riley and Anthony Perez a little while ago about the, Allerton area to install more lighting. So I'm a big advocate of working with council members and the commissioner on these sorts of issues. And then the Bronxdale bike lane, which I use a lot. I think that you did a good job of adding daylight and barriers where they were very much needed at various different intersections, after it was initially installed. There are still a number of pressure points where cars park in the bike lane, and worst of all, they sometimes park perpendicular, so they're cutting off the entire bike lane. So there's no way to get around unless you go up onto the sidewalk or into the lane of traffic. They're not parking parallel to the curb, they park perpendicular. Maestro's actually has, I think, done a good job of monitoring their customers and valet service, and it's usually not a problem there. The Pine Restaurant, though, is really not a good neighbor when it comes to the bike lane. And the gas station that's kind of across the street from the Pine Restaurant that rents parking to commercial vehicles, including Amazon trucks.
Diana, time's up.
Okay, thank you. I had a little bit more, but
Okay, you could continue that when I go to the next gallery, second gallery.
okay.
Hold your thoughts.
I just wanted to ask if there's anything about the pressure points that the DOT can do for bike lanes.
Okay, I think Anthony, I think Jesus is noting that. And hopefully by our next meeting, Diana will have more information for you.
So all I ask is that you would kind of send me in email. I believe you do have my email, Diana, to just send me the like the actual intersections or
Okay.
segments where the pressure points are happening. And again, these pressure points, if they are specific to cars parking in the bike lane, are an enforcement issue, right? So
Right.
I just want to keep that in mind. But either way, send them over to us, and
Okay.
we'll see.
And I'll add one on White Plains Road as well.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, thanks.
now it'll be Grace. Hold on a second. Grace, try to unmute yourself.
Oh, I'm unmuted. I'm not sure if this is in the A to F category, but I didn't realize there was a meeting tonight. I was just wondering about the street activity permits. Were they?
All approved, all approved.
They were all recommended for
Thank you.
approval.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Delgado, it's all yours.
Hold on. Roxanne, I try to
Yeah.
unmute yourself.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, due to limited time, I won't discuss Bronxdale nor the parking lot, which I and my group has been doing rallies for over 2 years regarding both Bronxdale and the rally and op-eds in the local papers. But I'll discuss the White Plains Road Diet, which the Community Board 11 committee nor the full board voted on it, unfortunately, to at least convey the community sentiments when the DOT first presented it to the board. There was no vote done on it, but I find it surprising that they actually extend the protected bike lane onto the sidewalk and encouraging vehicles, two-wheel vehicles to ride on the sidewalk, which I thought was illegal, unless you're, of course, you're a child. And we have mopeds, e-bikes, continuing the on the bike lane heading to southbound and jump on, encouraging by the signage of DOT on the sidewalk, riding on the sidewalk, which has been very detrimental to pedestrians like myself that walk on the north side of the White Plains Road. So I don't know how is that legal to do that, because that is a official sidewalk. So I'll send more details to you, Jesus, by email, because maybe I need to take a picture of that. Hello?
Yeah,
Well,
okay.
yeah, we're all listening. He heard you.
You did?
Yes.
I did. Yes, I heard you.
Okay.
Would you like me to respond now, or are we
Yeah,
taking
because
more
I won't
questions
be
here?
able to bring up, well, my second concern, please, and someone brought this up to my attention, and I was trying to find the rules, but, with DOT, it's hard to find, it's not in the city charter, so I'm not sure where the rules are for DOT, but on the Pelham Parkway Main Road, people have complained that that there's commercial use, which is prohibited. Can you please clarify what actual usage of the Pelham Parkway Main Road, not the service road, is it only for,
Non-commercial vehicles.
but they're actually, but the thing is, the definition of commercial, does that include FedEx? Does that include DOT? I have seen DOT.
That includes FedEx.
I'm speaking to Jesus, though. I would like to hear from him since he would know
It's
best.
an enforcement issue. It's not a DOT issue.
I'm not asking is enforcement. I'm asking what is
Excuse me.
prohibited and what is not.
Let Jesus.
Yeah, I'm trying to get here from the expert. He's the I just wanted to know, like with a FedEx truck or even I have
Excuse
seen
me.
DOT.
Excuse me.
Oh my God, you want to let me finish my sentence?
Excuse me, but whether even if it's a car and has commercial plates, it is not technically allowed on Pelham Parkway. It's an enforcement issue. It's counting FedEx, it's counting U-Haul, it's counting air conditioning trucks, vans, whatever. If it has commercial plates, it is not allowed on the parkway, on Pelham Parkway, because it's a parkway on the main road. On the service road, they're allowed. On the main road, they're not allowed. So it doesn't matter what the vehicle is. If it is registered with DMV, it is not allowed on the main road of Pelham Parkway, and it's an enforcement issue.
So Jesus, if you don't mind
I
answering
just,
that
yeah, no, I
question.
just wanted to, not to cut you off, Roxanne, but I just did want to piggyback off of Debbie. She's completely right. And just to clarify, DOT or any kind of city agency vehicles are not commercial. But yes, Debbie's right. So any kind of U-Haul, FedEx, any kind of company van, a car operating commercially is not allowed technically on a parkway.
So then why is it that it's commonly used by commercial trucks, like commercial vehicles then?
I don't have an official DOT answer for that, but as a roadway user, I can just say heavy lack of enforcement. But we all know that that's an issue of itself. But DOT has no role in that at all.
So it's only based on the plate, not the weight or size of the vehicle?
Right.
Correct.
Correct.
No, I'm asking Jesus. I can't believe, I
No,
came here to hear Jesus
yes,
and,
they're right. Yes, yes. So if
but
it's
it's not
registered
the
as a
point just
commer,
right or
if
wrong, is
it's
that I came,
registered as a commercial vehicle, then
so
it's a
then
commercial
what is the
vehicle.
reason? Because someone told me the reason was because of those commercial vehicles do damage to the roadway, but what's the purpose of prohibiting these vehicles with commercial plates if it's not based on weight or size?
A Honda Civic can be a commercial vehicle, Roxanne.
That's not,
It
yes,
depends. It depends. So, like, anything from a huge 18-wheeler truck to a small little Mini Cooper could be a commercial vehicle. It's all dependent
no,
on
then
how it's registered with the DMV.
now I understand, but then what was the purpose of prohibiting commercial vehicles if it's not based? Was it, because my understanding was because the damage on the roadway, is that the reason why they prohibit commercial vehicles there?
I'm not sure. That's a question. I'm not sure. I don't have an answer for that.
Because
I
otherwise
apologize.
the reasoning that it's based on commercial plate doesn't make sense. If it was based on size and utility, then it makes more sense because that's the larger the size, the more use on the road, from my understanding. But I'll follow up with you by email because I don't want to continue. Thank you so
Sounds
much.
good. No
Thank
problem.
you, Roxanne.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, yellow hands are down on the screen. So now we're going to go back to gallery number 2. This will be anything that does not have to do with A to F. And Jesus, if you could give us another few minutes, we'd appreciate it. If you give us another few minutes. Is that okay, Jesus?
Absolutely. Yes. Take your time.
Okay, anybody from committee here have anything to do with anything that has to do with transportation that was not discussed previously?
Well, I mean, it's sort of the previous, but not the previous. You got there's daylighting signs and daylighting rules. So couldn't they put no standing for daylighting reason over on Wilson at Waring? Couldn't they daylight that?
That's what Jesus is looking into.
So just to clarify, daylighting where there is not a bump out is a no standing sign. If there is a bump out and it's putting the car in the driving lane, that is no longer a DOT issue, it's an enforcement issue because it is now in the driving lane. I hope that makes sense. But for daylighting where there is no bump out, yes, we do install no standing signs for wherever the daylighting or whatever it is to the intersection, to the corner, whether it's 15 feet, 20 feet, whatever it is. But for a bump out, which is a physical hardened structure on the roadway that puts the vehicle in the driving lane, that is no longer a DOT issue. That is an enforcement issue.
Okay.
Okay, that's committee. Anybody from, okay, I see from the audience, we
Okay.
have Kay and Roxanne, so let's start off with Kay. Anything?
I know Malcolm had his hand up for a second, but I don't know.
Okay,
what
it's not
happened.
there now. I only look what's on now. Kay and Roxanne, you back have the floor and anything.
Okay, try to unmute yourself.
Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
yours.
thank you. Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize. I wasn't sure I was gonna be able to make the meeting, otherwise I would have registered in advance. I didn't realize it was gonna take so much time. Yes, so as far as Bronxdale Avenue is concerned, I mean, so many people in the community, whether they're drivers, pedestrians, bicycle riders, complain about the configuration. That it is that the bicycle lane is like where the curb is, and the parked vehicles are basically in what used to be a driving lane and stuff. As a pedestrian, I find it doubly dangerous because I have to look not only, let's say I'm crossing over to the side where Rite Aid is or whatever. I have to look not only at the bike lane, I have to step where a vehicle is, and I have to look around to make sure that no other vehicles are coming in the driving lane. It's just it's just dangerous and disconcerting. As a pedestrian, it's just, I don't like the configuration of it. And a lot of people here don't. I don't think that anything will ever be done, but just, I wanted to get that out there since so many people complain. And as far as that festival, the Yemeni Festival is concerned, it would have been better to leave it on Rhinelander. Because last year I saw no signage because I live up near the hospitals and I had come from work. I don't usually work on a Saturday. I was on one of the buses and the buses took a detour that I didn't understand, and I missed a connection to another bus because of it, and I didn't see any signage. So if whoever's responsible could possibly sign, and people do work on Saturdays. I'm in the healthcare. All right, you have police officers, EMTs, you've got hospital workers, you've got all kinds of people there on Saturdays. I know, I live in the area. So,
Okay. Good.
anyway,
Kate, I'm going to tell Chris or Jeremy, if you could send a email to our MTA representative for on that Sunday, which is 6/21 or Saturday, whatever day it is, that MTA should put appropriate signs on Morris Park Avenue, that your bus is not here any longer. It's going Rhineland or wherever it's going. And this way people will know where to go.
Rabbi, what Kay is talking about, it was the Earth Day. And that's why a lot of streets were closed.
Okay,
Oh,
well, I'm
okay.
also talking now about this from Sheba thing. I think we should put
Thank
signs
you,
up for
Chris.
that too.
I didn't
Okay.
remember. Thank
Okay, I
you.
know it's not muted. Somebody's not muted. Okay, Ms. Delgado, the floor is yours.
Hold on.
Yes, hello.
Yeah.
Hello,
Yeah.
Chair. I have two issues. First one is, I took the time after work, I'm exhausted. I had a long day. And I came here to hear from DOT. Whether the committee member knows the response or not is not the issue. I want to hear the response from DOT. So going forward, let's run the meeting professionally, please. Because I didn't come here to hear from another committee member. I can easily ask residents here who also drive and know the parkway. I just want to hear DOT's official response. That's my purpose of attending this meeting.
Okay,
Second issue is, this is an issue that I wanted to bring up 2 months ago, but since the Transportation Committee has canceled the meetings or not held meetings, I had to wait over 60 days to bring this up. That's been brought up to me many times by residents. I'm sadly that I dropped the ball as well, not pushing it more persistently. Residents are complaining due to safety reasons that this is an MTA issue, that the bus shelter, 39 bus on both on the west and east side on Pelham Parkway is too dark, and they fear for their safety at night because there's no it's very dark. And I was hoping you could send a letter to MTA to look into the bus shelter and see if they'd be willing to add some lighting to that, or is that falls on the DOT, or is it both DOT and MTA? Hello? Hello?
Hey, I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so is your question for lighting, or is your question for, so there isn't a bus shelter just with very low lighting?
There's a bus shelter, but there's no lighting around the bus shelter.
Is this bus shelter under, I'm sorry, I didn't catch the location. What was the location?
This is the west, this is the north and southbound 39 bus on White Plains Road. It's on
White
it's
Plains
right in the
Road
middle. Yeah,
and
Pelham Parkway.
Pelham Parkway. So it's under the elevated then.
Correct.
Okay, so this has always been a gray area. If you don't mind, Roxanne, I will definitely follow up with you. If you don't mind, actually, could I ask you to just shoot me an email for that
Yes,
as well?
I could do that.
And then
I
I
can
can
do
follow up with you directly, and I'll loop in the board as well, just so everyone is aware. But yes, so I believe some areas are MTA, but some areas are us. But again, I don't want to give you false information, so I'll follow up with you tomorrow on that.
Okay, I can easily contact, the reason why I want to ask the committee to write a letter in support of more lighting. There's no lighting. The only lighting is from above the lighting that's coming from the train station. There's no lighting at all for the bus shelter on both the north and southbound 39 bus. I could send you pictures, but my question was, is this falls under the MTA purview, or is this a DOT? And with Committee Board 11 committee sent a letter of support for lighting in that area, because that area, as anyone could know that lives in Pelham Parkway, is no longer considered a safe area. It's quite, especially at night, from all these club lounges and illegal smoke shops. All those customers are, they're not, some of them can cause lots of problems. They've been causing lots of problems in White Plains Road. That's the reason why I'm asking.
Okay. No, I completely understand. So I do think some areas are MTA, but I will get back to you tomorrow for sure. Just shoot me that email. That way I have something to send to the folks that do our lighting.
And would the chair of the Committee Board 11 make a motion at least, and to support lighting. And when we find out if it's an MTA or DOT jurisdiction, to send it to the appropriate agency.
So I'm sorry to interject, but before any of that happens, would it be okay if I just confirm whether or not it is us or MTA?
Okay, I could do that. It's just that the fact that
If the
the
board is
transportation
also
committee
okay with
doesn't
that,
always
I
hold in a
just
month.
like I
I
said,
have
I
no
don't
wait
want.
another 60 days.
No,
That's
I
all.
understand. I understand. So
All right.
I will definitely follow up with you tomorrow. And if
All
the
right,
board is
thank you.
okay with that, then I'll follow up and I'll also loop you guys in, and we can go from there.
All right, thank you so much. Bye.
Okay, Hazel has something to say.
I just wanted to say that I completely agree with her that especially on that side, which I don't know, it's east or west, whatever.
This
It
is
is-
the east side
It
and
is
this is the west
very,
side.
very dark there at night. When the sun goes down, forget about it. It's really, really dangerous. So I think once we find out who the letter has to go to, we should definitely write a letter for more lighting there.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
wait a second, no problem.
No.
I saw Mr.
Gray.
Malcolm Gray.
Hold on a second, Malcolm. All right, try to unmute yourself, Malcolm.
Thank you, Debbie. Appreciate you. Yeah, so I agree with Roxanne also with the lighting in that area. I actually have a walkthrough this Thursday with Anthony. So I could take him there to get his analysis on it, and I could let you guys know so you guys could push a letter or so at the next board meeting.
Yeah, we were just looking at Google map of the street view, so those that are not 100% familiar with it, even though we're sort of familiar with it, we know exactly where she's talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'll just take him there on Thursday and I'll let you guys know what he says.
Malcolm, I actually have a question for you, which was brought up now that
Sure.
you're a big mocker there on the bid. So we actually tried to not recommend, was a thought process to get rid of that 39 to turn onto White Plains Road for the 39 to keep on going on Boston Road. Would that really knock over the world? Because yeah, I know what the pro people are gonna be, that if they stop right in front of the train and everything, and you're right there by the train.
Right.
But other pro side is that bus blocks cars, it sits under the thing, waits till passengers get on, get off, and then it has to make a quick right turn under the trains when it comes across. Do you think that would be the end of the world? I think once upon a time, when it used to be the 28 bus, whatever it was, years ago, it stayed on Boston Road. Never went up to White Plains Road. Now,
Right.
maybe our storekeepers, and this is where you come in, maybe would object because it's taking away from their business. But the way I look, if it would stop on Boston Road and Pelham Parkway, where the express bus stops and where that 22 stops, which would be another issue, is probably. But at least I get rid of all those big buses under the rail, and I get you better lighting over there. And I think it's definitely a little more safer down there than it is under the subways down there.
Well, I could talk to the merchants about that and see how they feel about it. I also intend on surveying the community to see what their thoughts are too. But I'll give you my perspective on it. Like, to be honest, I think the bus going through there is a good idea. I mean, you have the 22. The 22 takes the turn down. You have 39, which goes straight into the commercial corridor. There are a lot of shoppers that you do use 39 to go directly into the corridor. For me, myself, personally, like, depending on where I want to go, the 22 gets you closer towards Boston Road, and 39 keeps you on White Plains Road. Um, I can see some people being upset about it, and I can see some merchants not being happy about it, but I can talk to them and to get a better feel and vibe on it. I mean, to me, it doesn't cause much, to me, the bigger issues is mostly the double parking on that stretch.
Malcolm,
Yeah, because it can rejoin down here.
Malcolm, I don't think you have to ask the storekeepers. I'm sure they're gonna say, keep the bus there. I'm
Yeah.
just thinking a total community thing and traffic and so on and so forth. And the bus stopping in front of Leidy and White Plains Road and sitting there till people come on and people get off, it would move traffic much quicker.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I
There's
guess. Mhm.
There's pros and cons, and I don't want to go over do a whole survey tomorrow. It's just a thought.
No, that's all right.
It might be a very bad idea. That's what I'm saying.
I understand.
Thank you.
Ms. Delgado, you're back. Oh, okay.
That's okay.
Ms. Delgado, again, you're on.
Yeah, I just want to say that my request regarding, I'm sorry, I just want to say my request regarding the bus shelter 39. I coming from the residents, I'm Francis Pelham Parkway, and many residents have made those complaints to me regarding the darkness in those bus shelters. So all I came was to ask for CB11. I'm ready to follow up with the councilwoman if she could push it as a priority, but due to the fact of safety. But the reason why I brought up was to get Community Board 11 support letter. I'll be working directly with DOT regarding this request because I made a mistake of waiting for your committee to hold a meeting. Actually, I just worked around it. But if you could help me with that letter, otherwise I'll follow up with the councilwoman and address it directly with DOT. Because it's been a community concern since last winter. They brought it up to me and I didn't follow up on it. I'm trying to address it now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we got one Kevin here, and then I think.
Kevin?
Thanks. I know there might be a little confusion for myself about public safety versus transportation as far as the committees here. But I'm gonna kind of ramble off a little bit of this, and I know I'm somebody who likes to correct people when they talk to DOT about enforcement, but we're here kind of talking about Bronxdale Avenue as the main subject. So I believe, I'm sorry, we already said that. I want to bring to your attention a series of 311 requests that I put in for illegal parking that creates issues along Bronxdale Avenue that we've all been speaking about. Specifically, I'm not going to get into reading each one of them, but chair, and the committee should have a copy of this from Jeremy from today. And there's quite a few. I want to say 905 Bronxdale Avenue on the intersection of Pierce and Bronxdale is a business that creates a 15-car parking issue between the bike lane, between double parking and the sidewalk, and most importantly, the crosswalk. If you just go up the block just slightly a little bit, they continue to park in the bike lane up to the next block, which I believe is Van Nest.
Is that the auto?
Yes, it is. 905. 905 is the address there. You don't write that down now. But, I'm not going to read off all of this that I wrote here because a lot of it has to do with enforcement. And I think that if I just said out loud to the few people that are here that are on the board, when it does come for a time for people to make some kind of motion and vote, enforcement on Bronxdale Avenue is one of the major things that's wrong with that roadway. I'm just going to read this last piece. I understand there were some issues about the school there. That school is called Van Nest Academy.
There's actually 3 schools. Only one of them is named there.
Yeah, one of them made paper, and I looked at it and I did my own little study. So here's my wrap on that. Currently, there's no parking in front of that school for an extended area from the corner of Van Nest south past where the school begins from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. And there are signs there saying that. So you have a bike lane against the curb, and then you have a no parking area for the length of that school. The first parent who blocks that in the morning or in the afternoon creates a dangerous parking situation. The NYPD 49 precinct has confirmed that there are 4 school safety officers there as well. So again, I'm wondering how that issue is becoming so unsafe if they actually have 4 people as school safety officers outside. I did provide a photo. I can't bring it up here, but on Southern Boulevard by the zoo, they have bus stops as well. And they have this checkered elevated area for bikes to cross over. It kind of gives the bike a warning that there might be people entering, exiting the bus, and also lets the people know that they're up on this extended area and they should pay attention to what's going on around them. And perhaps that little bit of enhancement might help the students as well. So that's like a little note to DOT as far as getting that checkered board as a possibility. And by doing that, it would create a predictable, safe zone for the students that need to cross over the bike lane to get to the bus, and for the bikes that may need to get up there. I'm going to run out of time, but there's not much more on here that I wrote down except, enforcement on Bronxville Avenue is a major piece of it. And I'm focusing more south end of it from Maestro south.
Okay. Can I ask you a question on this? I am aware that this picture we're looking at in the room is an old picture. But except for the shed thing, would that sign that we're looking at, would that be equal to about what is currently there now?
I don't know what it says on the bottom one. Can you just read that there?
The bottom of the street sweeping, the top one says no standing school days, 7 a.m. to 4 p.m.
So
Is
actually,
that pretty accurate?
that makes the bottom sign irrelevant because you can't park there during those hours anyway during school times, right? So that bottom sign could be removed and it wouldn't change anything going on there. But the no standing school signs from 7 to 4 is exactly what I wrote here. I probably could pull up a picture, but I don't recall that bottom sign.
Okay,
It's irrelevant.
all right. But basically, you're saying that red sign is the same red sign that says school days?
Currently.
Okay, so just this, I know the school days, and it's a pet peeve with me where I pick up children. DOE, so teachers in that building, they are given permits by the city.
Yeah.
They're allowed to park there if they have, they
Isn't there another
are,
sign?
they are,
Isn't there another sign that would
No.
allow that?
no.
Okay.
Because
Then that.
I got staff.
So I'm so sorry. So sorry.
Yeah.
There is specific authorized vehicle only signage that allows teachers to park with a permit issued by the city, but just because you have a permit does not mean you could park in a no standing school zone. You have to park in an authorized vehicle only zone. And not every school has that. And we are no longer issuing new zones for authorized vehicle only, especially for teachers.
This is just the red sign.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for the clarification,
Right?
but relevant, it wouldn't really
No
matter.
problem. You're welcome.
It's no stand, I get it. Thank you.
Ms. Villela has something to say.
I work at that school 2 days a week, and I will tell you that the 2 days that I'm there, it is absolute chaos. When they are dropping kids off, there are parents who have cars and they're dropping their kids off. And they don't want to park, they just want to drop off. And because there's only one lane going each way, there's no place to drop them off. So we have parents dropping them off in the middle of Bronxdale Avenue on the other side of the street. So these kids are getting out on the Maestro side and having to cross. It is complete chaos.
But the bottom line is, Lisa, the bottom line, everybody, the 49th precinct is not the 49th precinct that it was 40 years ago. 40 years ago, when I was a little kid, they had guys giving out tickets for double parking, for going through green lights, red lights, so on and so forth. And I think most of the traffic agents today are in that borough called Manhattan or Hunts Point, plain and simple. And this is all boiling down to enforcement. You think of how many times today we said enforcement, enforcement, enforcement. Double parked cars, Morris Park Avenue. You could give the city of New York every day, give them hundreds of dollars on how many double parked cars there. On Allerton, all over the place. You can't ask this deputy inspector to take these guys off of crime and to give out tickets.
Right. No,
Because then you would have tons of crime in this neighborhood because they're giving out tickets the whole time. When Captain DeGregorio started, he said, Rabbi Fuchs, most of my people are giving out tickets to make sure everything is safe in the neighborhood. He used to have cars that went out through the night because they used to steal all the cars right off the hutch. Because they stole the car, they went right on the hutch. He used to have a car sitting there the whole time. It's a reality check, Lisa. It's a reality check.
So I also think that the fact that the Bronxdale has gone from 2 lanes on each side down to 1 lane has made it more difficult. Not that people should double park, but there was that option of just double parking, pulling over, letting your child out. And
Right.
now it's gone, it's much less, it's
That's
just
right.
very dangerous.
Yeah.
I don't know what the answer is. I honestly don't, but when I'm there in the morning and in the afternoon.
Sure.
it's
I've gone through that. Yeah.
It's not safe.
Lisa, you tell the truth.
And
Nothing but the truth.
I honestly, I don't know what the answer is.
Okay, I have,
Can we go to new business?
well, Roxanne has a hand yet. Okay, Roxanne, quickly, do you have anything? Hello? Was that hand up from before?
Sorry, I make it quick, sorry. Enforcement is always an issue, but it's not just enforcement. People like to say enforcement only. The fact is the design itself encourages bad behavior. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we're going to new business. And the new business is increased street lighting request for Priosur Avenue between AD and Arno. Jesus, you know anything about this?
I do, and I logged a case. I believe I sent it to Jeremy yesterday or earlier this week. I'm not sure. I have a case number. I could read it out to you now if you'd like, but I
Yes.
logged it. It was actually Friday. You would like me to read it out?
Yes, please.
So it is DOT dash 694 763 dash H as in Harry 0 G as in Gary 8.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. First of all, big thank you to Jesus, who gave from his time today to give us information. And we appreciate his information. We will get follow-ups on everything, and we'll review it, and we'll get back to everybody at our next committee meeting, God willing, or sooner. In regard to that lighting, Jesus, you'll get back to us about that lighting, and then we will do what we have to do, whoever the responsible person is for helping that lighting on White Plains Road under the tracks over there. Okay, is there anybody else that has anything to say? Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Motion seconded at 8:31. We conclude this meeting. Thank you, everybody, and thank you, Jesus, public and committee.
You're very welcome. Have a good night.
And Lisa, how was the Barry Manilow concert?
It was great.